Shred, bitch. What up, fam? Welcome back. I am Masculinity Architect, Dwayne Langham. This is the Ave, Yolo Ave, the road leader, and you have just tuned in for another Sugar Shred update. Day 23. Today is Wednesday. Getting into the gym 4 weeks in to sugar fasting, sugar dieting, bringing you along for the journey. Got my birthday coming up. Lucky sevens. Experimenting, exploring, stress testing, and enjoying. And now we are locking in. And like clockwork, fam, weigh in this morning 240.4. And I want to say I had to be about 246, 247. I think even 248. Something was telling me, it was like, oh, you're right back where you started technically. So I share that honest truth always, uh, to be completely transparent and to help you find your way if you want to explore, experiment, not only with this diet, but just nutrition, lifestyle, your journey. So 240, lowest I've been is 238. But if you hear out of that, the thing that I really want to underline is that it fucking works. Just the fact of that, mathematically, systematically, 48 hours of eating had at least 2,000 calories a day, full meals. I had gummy bears Monday, Smart Sweets Tuesday, yesterday, um, and what else? Oh yeah, I tried a Dr. Pepper on the Cole Robinson. Not doing that again. I definitely am not for the refined stuff, but yeah, I say all that to say back down to 240. This is why I'm enjoying so much. And if you haven't noticed, been paying attention, the cuts, the veins, like the results on my body have been here. So I say all that to say everything is working dialed in. And now I'm at the point where I want to actually get intentional, actually be on the mark, dialed in, get it trending back down. I've had my comfort, I've enjoyed myself. Let's go ahead and hold back on the social until the birthday party, and really just see how far we can push into this thing. But a couple of messages I want to drop. I'm going to get to that supercharging your sugar fast. I'm going to go deeper into training, actually. I talked yesterday about resistance training, and I really want to help ease you into a full-on healthy lifestyle, the new you that's going to be transformed, not just the number on the scale, but the person living in that body, living life. So I saw some content this morning. Kat was talking about sugar dieting, sugar fasting, and blowing the roof off it. And it kind of it frustrates me. They pointed to, shout out Smelly Bell, Mark Bell, talking about some of the things that he publicly talks about using the performance enhancing drugs. The level at which he's knowledgeable or whatever he goes into and what he's pushing out there, and just giving it a label. This is the latest fad, the latest trash, whatever, and pointing to the holes in it. And it frustrated me because I'm all about sharing like a real authentic experience, not having an authority or point figure tell you this is the way to get it done. And that type of bullshit, honestly, just marketing propaganda. And not to say that there's anything specifically with this guy. I'm speaking in general because with all the content I take in everything. And of course, titles get you, so I don't know what they're talking about. And then once they're talking, pointing out flaws, facts, things like that can keep your attention. But one thing I've never been for, and this is for any of my content, any of my channels, is just the pure negativity. I'm all about positive. I'm all about building up. I'm all about something. And that can be healthy even with the devil's advocate. My pre-workout is kicking, so this honey has got the energy surging. By the way, so this morning, stripping it back, when I say dialed in, I'm going to the minimal of everything. So just had honey, 8 ounces of juice, 2 tablespoons of honey, 8 ounces of juice with 2 tablespoons of sugar in it and some creatine. And that is my pre-workout. I had a 0 calorie, actually, green tea. What was that, matcha, and some stevia sweetened, just for the warm liquid in the morning. Like I said, I really don't have a requirement for caffeine anymore at all, and I'm balancing how I do what I do to not stack up the calories super quick. So I'm just at 300 grams. I think about I'm sorry, 100, 300 calories, probably about 80 grams of sugar, but just enough to get in the gym and start small. I really want to see what it is when I just eat as if I'm doing keto, as if I'm doing intermittent fasting, sticking to low calories as possible, just getting the energy that I want and need still wake up in the morning whether I've had sugar or fruit or anything, and I'm good on energy. I'm not groggy or anything, and I want to feel the surge and boost of I just consumed a concentration of energy and sugar to burn through for the workout. And when I feel hungry is when to refill the tank. So that's what I'm personally going through, and what dialing in looks like. Getting back to this message though, he was just critiquing, calling out, looking at the flaws in things. And as somebody who does business, who does multiple channels, who's an entrepreneur, who understands the language and everything, I want to just translate for the everyday person. Because as I said, I'm a regular motherfucker who just gets out here and does stuff. And the part that frustrates me is when there's a lot of knowledge out there, some's bullshit, some's fake, some's guesswork, some's people not even trying it, not even entertaining it. And there can be a tasteful way to even do that. If you're an expert in something, if you've got experience in something, you can bring facts to the table and bring counterpoints and arguments, debates, healthy discussion. And that's the science of shit. Science is scientifically proving amongst the community what is factual truth, study, inquiry. To just bash, to just point the finger, to just point out the flaws. Now, don't get me wrong, in the marketing, the guy's pointing to, hey, this is the effective, high protein, typical stimuluses, full course meals. Yeah, and those are all great things. And I hope that you hear in my videos, I'm always touching to whatever diet you pick up, because as I've experienced, as I've come to learn with all the information, find out what works for you and make it work for you. As I'm tweaking, like I said, I had a 0-calorie drink this morning. I could put sweet in it, but I don't want to. I actually have intentions for my cut, for my body, for my lifestyle, and my regimen. So I just want to underline about that video that I saw and about any of the content that is just pointing the finger, just talking shit, just roasting, just clowning, just trolling this diet, right? Beyond the fad element, because you're going to have outliers regardless, there's truth inside of it. So don't throw out the baby with the bathwater and test it on for yourself. So the warning I want to give you is anyone who's not willing to try it, not willing to experiment, not willing to actually have something to reference, whether it's their clients, whether it's themselves directly, but just points the finger or just tries to tear it apart, and especially if they've got something that they are an expert in that they sell you that's a counter, it's just a marketing ploy. Don't take that as real content. They're catching the fat and they're trying to keep their business going. Honestly, if they are vested, if they have put resources, time, energy into this market, this being the stable, why everything doesn't, it's actually a marketing tactic. Just telling you this is what everybody else is out there doing, and this is my, was it? Unpopular opinion, like just that counter is what you sell, what you have going on. I don't have shit to sell you unless you just want the help. I'm more than happy to help. But I don't have products, I don't have a lineup, and I don't have any affiliation to anything. Flexitarian is a motherfucker, do what works, and that's what matters. So I want to put that out first. Now, got the updates on me, got the bullshit out there not to buy into. Supercharging your sugar fast results. As I talked about yesterday, getting up, getting active, getting a way to use this energy is going to be the best way to get the most out of your sugar fasting and sugar diet. Now I want to take it a step further to go into detail because I touched on the resistance training, and there's really a world of that for those who are ready to or interested in going deeper, not just taking on a 3x10 and by starting there. That's a good midpoint. Reason being because hypertrophy is what you're going for. Technical term, but basically you're just tearing down the muscle. We're organic, biological. The way our muscles work is they fill up with blood, they contract, they pull. The holding of that, the exertion of that is going to tear down little micro tears that leak out acid inside the muscles, causing breakdown, stimulus, hormones, growth to happen so that the muscle builds back stronger. That is why you're sore. That is why you get a pump. That is why you get bigger. That is the science that's going on. So while getting comfortable in the gym, if you've never been there, 3x10 is a good place to start because it gives you a good amount of sets and reps as far as getting warmed up, doing a decent amount of reps that is going to fill the muscle with blood, that is going to break it down, and to bring back getting stronger, it's a decent rep range. There's things you can do, high volume, pumping more blood in with lighter weights, that's going to cause size to expand, or there's focusing on lower reps with higher stimulation to the nervous system, getting up under heavier weights. Those are the two ways to build muscle. Time under tension, more reps, more volume, more blood pumping, high reps, low weight, and the amount of tension the amount of weight, the amount of resistance, getting up under heavier weights, you're going to do less and less. PR, personal one rep maxes. So you're going to do less weight on that, but that also makes you stronger. So there's getting stronger and then there's getting bigger. Those are the two ways that you're primarily going to focus on bodybuilding, building muscle. Reason you want to do that, because building more muscle burns more calories, burns more fat, is more aesthetically pleasing, makes you more athletic, is more efficient, all the good things of having more muscle. So I just wanted to do a quick scientific breakdown of the goal. When you're doing these reps, and this is for if you're doing 3 sets of 10, if you want to expand it, 3 sets of 15, 3 sets of 30, the high volume I was talking about, or if you're going for maxing, strength-wise, 3 sets of 3, 3 sets of 5, 3 sets of 10 would really be a max range if you're really trying to go low rep. But anyway, inside of that, you want to get to a point where the last 2 to 3 reps are going to be to failure, fatigue, that tear down moment. Now, I'll tell you how that works on two ends. When you reach failure, when you cannot get another rep, when that last rep, you need a spot, you can barely get it going, that is when you've caused the most growth. That is when the body responds, click, we need to survive. You almost got crushed. That squat rack almost got us. We got to come back stronger. We were running from the lion. We need to be able to run faster. Whenever you break down something is when it stimulates the body. I need to build that. It needs more endurance. It needs more stamina. It needs more blood flow. It needs more strength. It needs to be able to do more. You want to get to that space. You get in the gym, you do absolutely nothing, or just do your 3 to 10, you don't feel a thing, you're not breaking a sweat, there's no struggle to it at all, you're just lightweight, showing off. But if you're not stimulating anything, you don't grow. So I'm just giving you the bodybuilding principles, how to get a sound foundation. What are the principles that you're going off of? Why are you doing the things? Regardless of any exercise, regardless of any training style, regardless of high intensity, your pace, the breaks that you take. I'm saying a lot of things, but the important parts that you need to know in starting in that 3 sets 10 range is to just get in the gym and get yourself to failure. And as long as on the last set, especially, but you definitely want to be where the last 2 to 3 reps of every set are something that you have to struggle through, something that you can't get. Always be flexing on that. You can go up in more weight as you notice it get easier, but that's your measurement. Whether or not you want to go for 15 reps, 10 reps, 5 reps, whatever, always be going by the last, as far as the weight to put on the bar, how much, how many times can you lift it, and the last few reps are going to be a struggle. Then you're going to be in that sweet spot for growth. The last thing I'll tell you, as far as simplicity, ease, remember I said 3 days a week exercising for 30 minutes at least, or resistance training. So inside of that, if you're going to do 3 by 10, the other way to train is going to be either high volume or high frequency. High frequency is training the entire body. Now, if you're into this sugar dieting, sugar fasting, the easy way to jump in at this is not going to give you the bodybuilding specialty. This is, and by that I mean just doing arms, just doing back, just doing push, just doing pull, arms, legs, those kind of specially isolating exercises. That's for hardcore bodybuilding. That's once you're established, you've got a foundational muscle, or you've got somebody showing you how to concentrate and build the right things, because you don't want to just develop your chest, avoid the back, and then you've got like a concave, your back's pulling back or your chest is pulling forward. There's a lot of balances and things that go on with bodybuilding. If you're doing high frequency training, meaning the whole body, all the muscle groups are getting charged, broken down, attacked, worked out multiple times a week, high frequency training, then you're going to be training the full body every workout. Why is that the best thing if you're focused on diet, fat loss? Because that's stimulating all this glycogen, all this blood flowing around, sending it to the entire body, stimulating your metabolism, stimulating muscle growth, stimulating every function in your body to all parts. High volume training is where the legs get a day of all the reps. High volume, training a lot of volume to that one specific muscle group to build it up stronger. If you've been in the gym for a while, this is what you want to focus on to develop one specific area. If you're looking on fat loss, if you're maintaining, if you just want to get in easy, something you can do easily 3 times a week, fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Instead of doing 3 sets, you can do 1 set, because on Monday you can do barbells, full body. On Wednesday, you can do dumbbells, full body. On Friday, you can do machines, full body. Just do 1 set per muscle group and do the whole body every day. And that's a quick 30-minute general. But I just wanted to drop those principles on you. Wanted to drop from my knowledge base, how can you get started, resources you can plug into. Take the video you watched yesterday where I told you where to get information, where to get workouts, what things to do, what to do as far as cardio, things like that. Take this information if you want to get good into the resistance training. I'll be honest with you, and this is what I hear the most, especially talking with people not as familiar with fitness. Confusion on, like, oh, I just want to lose my stomach. There's no such thing as spot burning. You can do crunches and abs all day. I never worked on my stomach because you couldn't see it. Now, just in the last year, started working on core because I'm serious to get down to the six pack. You don't want to neglect any part of the body, and at the same time, just understanding what your efforts are going to get out of it. That's the knowledge I want to impress upon you, give you the option to jump in with so that you can be the most powerful, get the results that you want. Now that this pre-workout is good and primed, wish me luck, y'all. I'm only going to operate when I'm hungry, which I really haven't been experiencing. So also, just to bring it on back to my own personal, what I'm contemplating right now is whether or not I want to continue longer sugar fasting. I can tell as I'm dialing in these meals, when I eat what I eat, I can tell there's a bit of so much dopamine, so much enjoyment, so much delicious taste with all this sugar, especially the honey. I love the shit. I look forward to it. Not only my routine of taking the pictures, measuring myself, what I do every morning, I'm also usually breaking my fast, which is something for years I have not done, very early in the day, having a 6 o'clock feed window open up, 6 o'clock a.m. That's been a never before type shit for me. So that is exciting. But with that, what I'm noticing is in the sugar fasting, while I'm good on energy, I'm watching it like clockwork, melt the fat off every single time. Within 48 hours, melt back whatever was undone, and not limiting the calories. I've been outside the lines. I've really stayed at, like I said, 1,000 calories, 1,200. I just don't have to stay there, and I do keep seeing the results, but I want to get more, so I'm going to push for that. But the thing I was speaking to, I'm noticing that the satiating that I'm seeking, warm, salty, savory, protein, I do feel a sense of that is what my body's excited to eat. I notice, especially on day two, that it is like I am fasting, not having calories. When I smell meals, they're a bit more tempting. I can always go get my meal, and there's a feeling of, yeah, I can't wait to. There's that satisfying waiting to not binge, not cheat, but break the fast, get the nutrients. Your body knows what it needs. So just want to encourage you to listen to that. I'm paying attention, listening to it myself. Do I want the accelerated fat loss? I'm also mindful of risking hormones, fats, not getting the protein and things in the mix, and also being on the FGF 21 for too long. Like I said, I've been living. Now I'm going to focus on leaning. So as I am more disciplined, it'll only make sense to do as much as possible, be responsible as possible. So I shouldn't have so much fluctuation. But my goal is, make sure it's not too crowded in the gym for noise distractions. But I'm looking at, does it work for me? My appetite, my hunger, muscle maintenance, which has been there. I don't think 2 days before a refeed is anything risky. I haven't noticed any loss of muscle, any loss of strength. But I'm looking at, do I want to absolutely break the sugar fast, or do I want to continue with the sugar fast longer? And that's where I said I'm getting in the experimental phase. How far can I push the fast? Just like water fasting, except getting to eat. How far can I push it? How low can I keep the calories where it's beneficial, where I'm seeing the scale drop so I get the trend? That's what I'm looking at for myself. I've found the limits. I'm looking at how far I want to push myself, and I'm noticing the cravings that are there. Because right now, and seeing the results, there's the curiosity. Well, I could get some meat, which would be satiating, get some starch in there. And at the same time, I know that's probably going to put maybe 1 to 2 pounds. That's probably going to slow the loss of the 3 to 4 pounds I can see almost daily. So it could be 1 to 2 pounds going back. Maybe I'll be at 242, 243, my norm. Or will it drop down? Will I see 237, hit a new low? What do I want to go for? So that's the experiment. I do believe I've got some meals waiting. I am ready for it. And at the same time, as always, live it a little. So don't want to be a machine about it. Don't want to slave myself, and I'm also mindful of getting to a point where you yo-yo and you binge. I don't want to be to a point where I have to break, need to break. And then I know my appetite, I know my habits. Once you crack the seal, it's like, go ahead and rip that motherfucker off, and I'm not looking to have those kind of cycles. So it helps to keep me accountable, sharing with y'all. That's the latest in my experience. Hope that information on supercharging your sugar fasting results helps. Get in the gym, get some resistance, get some muscle, whatever your goals are, whatever the diet is, it always helps to have a bigger fat burning machine. More muscle, burns more calories, resting metabolic rate, look better, feel better, be stronger. And lean muscle mass retention, like it really does help age you. It is a better quality of life. Feel free to look into it. In the meantime, I'm gonna be right here. Wishing you the best, only success. You see me about to get in the playground and get it in, clanging and banging and such. Oh, what was that? Beyond improvement, motherfucker. You know what it is. Question is, who are you going to be? Peace.